Yep, I'm for dinner, but
Okay, are we ready to go? All right, you know what? I'm going to start this. That's this.
Denise, unmute yourself, babe, and then we're ready.
All
I
right.
mute everybody else.
All right, let's roll with it. Hey, welcome everybody. It is Monday night, September 12th, 2016, and we are ready to rock and roll week number 4 for the fabulous foursome fast track. Let's give it up for all of us because last week was phenomenal, and I am going to be giving the recognition for all the teams this week. So let's get going. I'm calling out and shouting out loud and proud for Team Betsy. These names are the people who all had double pibs, and I apologize ahead of time for any names that I butcher a little bit. It is not intentional. Let's go. Double pibs go to Chris Petrowski, 4 enrollments, 200 pib. Jen Mitchell, 3 enrollments, 150 in pibs. Sherry Petrowski, 3 enrollments, 150 pibs. Libby Valentino, 2 enrollments, $100. Mallory Musgrove, 2 enrollments, $100. These folks created two new consultants, Melanie Scritchfield, Allison Barrows. These folks did 2 tastings last week. Dorothy Zevenbergen, Shannon Kettles. They both enrolled people at their tastings. Congratulations, Team Betsy. All right, let's give it up for Team Janny. First up is Sarah Manilik. 2 new enrollments. Congratulations. And she's starting to build her team in Alaska. Woohoo! Mandy and Sam Vassello. They had 3 new enrollments and created 2 new consultants. That's outstanding. Well done. Joni Allen had 1 new enrollment. Let's celebrate that. That's awesome. Kathleen Dugan had a huge week. Hosted her 2nd launch party since celebration, with over 20 people in attendance. She created 1 consultant and had an incredible team business building meeting with many of her new product users. Way to go. Nina Buchachik. Oh, I don't think I did that right. I'm so sorry. With another new enrollment. Congratulations, Nina. Katie Driscoll created a new consultant. Mark and Kathy Lampert, 2 new enrollments. This is beautiful. Hear this, guys? This is wonderful. Also from Team Janny, Jill Lanphier with 3 Pacesetter Pack enrollments. 3. Nicole Hutchinson, 2 new enrollments. Rachel Hiltz with her 3rd new enrollment. This is feeling awesome, you guys. Tammy and Larry Agerter with 2 enrollments. Congratulations to Team Janny. All right, let's hear it up for
Denise.
Yes.
Hi, it's Janny. Yeah, I also wanted to add on there that for the last one is Erica Elo with 2 new enrollments and her 1st international sponsorship.
All right, we love that. Good job, Erica. Great ad. Appreciate that. All right, moving on to Team Lauren. Recognition goes to Samantha Thompson, 4 enrollments, a 5-cycle bonus, almost 900 in the week. That's awesome. Consultant, Marla Kraft, Steve Polk, Kevin Brooks, Jessica Backus, Lindsay North, Josh Taryn. Awesome. Double pibs go to Jessica Backus, Ashley Bayless, Alyssa Green, Kevin Brooks, and the last 10 before back office was closed to Sherry Malenga, consultant. Well done. That's Team Lauren. Give it up. Feel it.
Woohoo!
Really good stuff. And from Team Jessica, we're sitting here in the house in Pennsylvania, and here we go. Jen Flynn, 3 enrollments, and helping team members get people started and on a mission to nail executive. She has not been breathing. She's working hard. Give it up to Cindy Bevan Wilson. She hit 1 star. Outstanding. We love those stars. and she's helping her team build and had a launch party last week. All right, people, hear this one. Mike Choop, 7 enrollments, and he ranked number 20 in the $1 Million Challenge. Give it up for Team Jessica. You guys, recognition is awesome, and we want everyone lifted up. And so if your name wasn't called, we know you did the work. We know you were doing good stuff. Keep going strong. Lauren, it's back to you.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you guys so much. You guys all great job. I'm going to go ahead and just do everybody as people are still calling in. Hold on just a second. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for calling in. We are at week 4, and we are so excited about our guest speaker that we have tonight. Jason, just so that I can introduce to you a little bit about kind of what's happening and what this is all about. Janie Elo and Betsy Frame and Jessica Rigner and I got together, and we were running a 12-week fast track to executive. And each week we're going with the 90-day game plan. We're highlighting a product, we're highlighting an area of belief, and then we have a rock star trainer to be able to just kind of give their tips, their wisdom, their experience to get all of these superstars to the next goal and to get them to where they need to be, which is executive in 12 weeks. So you guys, I want to introduce Jason Liu. The first time I heard him speak was at a Super Saturday in Arizona, and he just rocked my world. I was like, this guy has the secret sauce, you know? And not because he's doing anything different, but because he's passionate, he's articulate, he uses the tools, he's duplicative, and he's super fun. He is a START ambassador. He's a 4-star Golden Circle. But as a seasoned network marketing professional, with over 15 years of network marketing experience, Jason knew exactly what kind of company he wanted to join forces with when he decided to make the move with his previous job. He wanted to find a company that had a fair compensation plan, had superior products, a solid foundation within the management team, values and integrity that aligned with his own, and a culture unlike any other. Jason had looked at almost 30 other network marketing opportunities when his research led him to Isagenix. After visiting the headquarters and meeting the corporate team, Jason realized Isagenix met all of his criteria, and that was his commitment to join. So now he and his wife do this in the full-time, so that they can be full-time parents, work with each other, and they have the opportunity to help each other. So I would love to introduce Jason to the call. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, they're telling me that they couldn't hear me, so I apologize if I totally butchered your bio.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm honored to be on here with you guys tonight, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, rock and roll, because we can hear you good. So I'm going to.
Okay, no worries. You guys can message me at any point in time I cut out or I end up, waning in and out. Just give me a heads up here. But I appreciate you guys being so accommodating. I told Lauren that I only had a certain amount of time because we actually run our team call in about 30 minutes as well. So I'm honored to be here with you guys. It's awesome hearing all the recognition and names that were fired off when you guys first got started here. So you guys are doing a heck of a lot right, and you've got some amazing leadership that you're plugging into. And I love the fact that I'm watching the rooms right now. I love the fact that you guys are like getting together in person, getting that energy fired up together, and then all logging on here together. It shows a ton of unity. I love the fact that you guys start off with gratitude, because when you're in that space, when you're in that place of gratitude, you can't have that fear, you can't have that anger, you can't have that frustration. So it's awesome you guys start all there. But for those of you that, some of you may know me, some of you may not, I'll give you kind of the Cliff Notes version of my background a little bit here. I actually got started in network marketing, like Lauren said, about 15 years ago. I was 18 years old. And I think the biggest thing I can share with you and kind of where my struggles have brought me is I was the kid that was really, really shy. Like if you put me in a room full of people, I would much rather, at least at that point in time, rather be the person that was in the corner like by himself than the person that was connecting and chatting. Like I was not your average network marketer. I probably had horrible skills. I was shy, I was quiet, I was introverted. I'm Chinese American, and for some reason I was taught that I had to look everywhere but someone's eyes. So you can imagine how it went when I was trying to go out there and sell a product. But I was like trying to talk to someone, and my eyes were literally everywhere but their face. So it didn't work out so well. So my first 3.5 years in the industry, I made absolutely nothing. My biggest check after 3.5 years was $350. And the one thing I will say was that I was so fired up that I said that I knew I would find a way to make it work. I didn't have great mentors, I didn't have great supports, and probably around year 3.5 was really when the things began to click for me. I think that the soft skills for me really came to come into play. And what I mean by soft is the ability to just, and a lot of you guys have really amazing soft skills. Soft skills meaning the ability just to connect and to smile and to have a conversation, to ask great questions. The hard skills are what I more consider like the technical skills, the specific questions, the ability to kind of direct a conversation if you need to, or how to post, let's say, on social media. So I took me a while to even just get the basic soft skills down, and was fortunate enough to have some success in year 4. I think I made $33,000. I was really, really pumped about that. And then it ballooned from there. I eventually went on to become multiple six-figure earner. I became the top income earner of a company out there. And essentially the curtain got pulled back and I realized I was with the wrong company. And so I, about year 7 into it, kind of began to start peeking around. I stayed there for about 8 years before we essentially resigned our position, walked away from our income, and we had 2 years of a non-compete. So we had to start all the way over from scratch. And that's after 30 companies. We flew out to 8 before deciding on Isagenix. So that in a nutshell was kind of what brought us here. And first couple of years, it was just kind of dusting off the wounds, licking the wounds a little bit. It was a little bit of PTSD for network marketing. I like to say that I was the person that kind of loved network marketing, learned to hate and be a bit jaded. I know it's a hard word, but about network marketing, and learned to fall back in love with the industry again. And it's been a beautiful journey. It's what's allowed me and my wife to stay full-time at home with our daughter. And I think for a lot of people out there, and I'll open it up if you guys want to fire away questions in a little bit, but when Lauren asked me to be on the call, she said, you can pick whatever topic you want to talk about. I think with the short amount of time that I've got here, I think my goal for you guys today is what I really want to talk about is the power of asking. And it was a skill that took me a lot of time to learn and to develop. And some of you guys might be really great at it. Some of you guys might need to work at it. And for all of us, it's something I think we can all practice at. So when I first got started in the industry of network marketing, like I said, I was really shy. And I think a lot of times we're in this place where we want to push people to the place where we're enrolling people and we're getting people cranking and we're getting moving. But sometimes we got to look back at what the little wins look like. The small little confidence builders make those big differences. Some of you guys saw me on stage at Celebration talk about the power of the little commitments that all add up. We call it the breadcrumb trail. And for those of you guys that didn't see the piece, the idea kind of is that the minor commitments along the way are what add people up to the big decision. Like you don't walk into a gym and say, hey, you know, would you like to join my gym for $3,000 a year? Most people would say, no, you're nuts, you're crazy. That's essentially what a gym is asking you, but they do it in a much more elegant way with little questions like, would you like to come in, and would you like water, and would you like to meet the trainers? Would you like a tour of the facility? Would you like to see our yoga studio and our Pilates studio, and here's the pool, right? And it's these little systematic small commitments along the way that allow someone to make a decision, but also it allows someone to sort themselves out really early so that it's not wasting your time or their time as well either. So, you know, the 3 major questions that we always teach in our group and that we encourage people to keep going back to is always, right, are you open to information? So whatever your story is, whatever you're leading with, whether it's product or opportunity, it doesn't matter, guys. It's just leading with that emotion that you have, and then obviously ending with this idea of, are you open to checking out some information, right? Or if I sent you this video, right, would you take 15 minutes to watch it? But it's this minor little commitment. I think so often our new people get ahead of themselves. They try to jump to the end and try to get to this place right now where, you know, they're asking for the sale when all they have to do is find out if there's even interest involved. And so we were kind of sitting down and I don't know, how many guys out there are big Tony Robbins fans? Any of you guys Tony Robbins fans? Like anyone watch like I'm Not Your Guru? Okay. So I went on this whole Tony Robbins kick. I've seen Tony years ago, kind of went through everything, kind of forgot about Tony then, and forget about Tony, but kind of got back to the point where I really dove into Tony. And for those of you guys that don't, I don't want to send you on personal development. We have a rule in our group that says if you're going to do personal development, it's typically before 9 o'clock in the morning or after 9 o'clock at night, not during the times where you could be connecting and calling, or it happens during net time. And what I mean by that is no extra time. So if you're at the gym, on a walk, doing something, picking up the kids, and it's on in the car, totally cool, right? So it's net time. Well, anyway, so I was getting back to, I know I'm all over the place right now, but where we were going is I was listening to one of Tony's podcasts, and Tony interviews a guy by the name of Noah Kagan. And some of you guys might have seen my post a few days ago about Noah. If you guys haven't, you guys can find it on Facebook. I'm holding up a cup of coffee. And Noah was actually the 30th employee of Facebook. He actually got fired from Facebook, ended up going out there and starting an app called Mint, mint.com, which was essentially a way to track your receipts, and it got sold for like $176 million to Intuit. Long story short, he went out there and ended up starting a company called AppSumo. And what he does now is he's finding that in business, in entrepreneurship, and I thought this applied so perfectly to what we do here, one of the skills that we rarely get a chance to practice, but we are paid the most to go out there and create, is the ability to ask for the sale, right? How many of you guys would agree that asking for the sale, asking for the transaction, at least when you start it, was one of the more challenging things for you to do if you weren't in sales before, right? Mm-hmm. And I was that person where it was something that I wanted to go out there and practice. And so Noah Kagan actually challenged his team. He started this in 2013. How many guys, by show of hands out there, have heard of the coffee challenge? Anyone heard of this? Anyone heard of the coffee challenge? Okay. So here's what Noah challenged his team to do, and it might be something fun for you guys to do within your own group. In order to practice asking for the sale, he challenged his team to walk into the coffee shop or walk into, if you get a cup of tea, you can even buy a couple, a glass of water, it doesn't matter. But walking into a coffee shop, and the whole idea was asking for a 10% discount and not necessarily explaining why you were asking for the discount or what you were doing, but just asking for the discount. So he said, every time, he essentially said that I got an incredible lesson on how to change my posture, change my state. I had the ability to ask a question where I got really nervous about something, but literally walk up in front of the room or in line and ask the person that was cashing him out, saying, hey, I'd like a small cup of coffee. May I or can I have a 10% discount? And then zipping it. And he said what was interesting about that experience was the amount of anxiety he personally went through, someone that had been in sales, been an entrepreneur, but his personal kind of feeling of that unease a little bit. And what he found was the more he did it, obviously, the more that asking got easier and easier. And then he upped the challenge. He went out there and had his team do the newspaper challenge. And the newspaper challenge is going to an airport and essentially asking someone at the airport, said, you can't board your plane unless you ask a stranger for their newspaper. And if they're still reading it, asking them for a section, right, that they've already read. So he said, I got a ton of like the gardening section. Like that was what I got all the time at the airport. But he said it wasn't the point of like getting a newspaper. The point was practicing the asking, practicing asking for the transaction. And he's like, he has team members that have upped it, people literally asking, sitting in aisle, like middle seats, asking for aisle seats. But he said the whole point is being an entrepreneur is all about the ask. But how often do we actually have an opportunity to practice that ask? So I thought it was brilliant. And I said, I wanted to go out there and do this with my team, but I had to go do it first. So 2 weeks ago, I went to a coffee shop, walked in, and I've been in sales for a while. I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm driving there. I'm like super pumped. I'm excited about it. But I'm telling you, I'm standing in line and I've got probably, 10 people behind me in line. Some of them are grumpy, anxious. And I get to the front and I literally have this moment of, oh my gosh, what are the people behind me, right? Because I'm probably what are they gonna think of me? And I'm walking up to the front realizing I'm like looking at the cashier and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna think of me? Do they think I can't afford a cup of coffee? Is there a reason why I'm asking for this cup of coffee? But these thoughts began to kind of go. And the great part about this experience was I didn't have a choice other than to just ask, because I said, look, I'm gonna tell this to my team, so I've gotta go do this. So I order my coffee. I literally forgot to ask for the 10% discount. I just went up there and said, can I have a discount? And I stopped. My initial reaction, and this is old habits for me, was I wanted to look down. I actually recognized my eyes starting to slip down. Now I know a lot of us are behind a screen these days. A lot of us are texting. A lot of us are over the phone. But if you notice your physical state, how you hold yourself, your overall physiology, I noticed that I was starting to hunch down. I was starting to look down, and I actually had to raise back up and hold that contact. And the guy gave me this look, kind of like, why? Kind of the why are you asking for? And I just stood there and smiled. He's like, okay. So what was a $2.80, I think, cappuccino, or it was a 2-shot of espresso, went down to 85 cents. And it wasn't about saving the $1.90, but I'm telling you right now, I felt more pumped over that $1.90 that I saved because I got to ask for it. And so we went back and kind of challenged the team to do it. And much like people are doing like the Veterans Challenge right now for 22 push-ups to create awareness around soldiers that obviously are going through challenges, we did the same idea around just the coffee challenge. So our team would go out there and nominate other people to go do the coffee challenge. We have people like, I don't drink coffee. I was like, go ask for tea. It doesn't matter. But the whole point was getting to this place of asking for a transaction. And the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes and the easier that really begins to become for people. So I just wanted to leave you guys hopefully with a little something fun that you guys could inject into your team, into your group. I wanted to open it up. I can definitely take on more areas. I've got about 5 minutes. I don't want to cut into anyone else's time, but if Lauren, you want to either fire questions away or open it up for questions, I'm definitely game as well.
You're awesome. And sometimes it's so sad when everything's muted because you can't hear the laughter, but I've got like 20 people here just with us tonight. And one of the things we said is these had to be belly to belly. And if you were going to dial in, we wanted people in groups so that we get the energy, but like you literally have this whole room laughing. So I'm sorry that you can't hear that because I think it's fun. I personally, I know we are kind of doing these like quick little snippets and I don't have any immediate questions off the top of my head except one. And you might have to do like the Reader's Digest version. But what you did at Celebration on the panel, when you talked about that flow chart, was like the most genius thing I've ever seen. That if you can give the 30-second version of like how to go, from Facebook to on the phone, or just like getting them to like set the appointment, like I think every single person here needs to see that. Even if they weren't at Celebration, if they were, they need to see it again.
Yeah, I wish, well, let's see, can I do it? Can I guess I could, hold on, 2 seconds. All right, we're gonna do the 5-minute technical challenge. Am I allowed to hijack your screen really quick and do the, use the pen?
Yeah, I don't know how you can do it if you're not the host, but you can do whatever you want.
All right.
Oh, you did totally.
Check it out. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
I totally. So kind of the idea behind the flow chart here for everyone, great leader is all about being one step ahead of your team and your prospect. That's all you got to be, is one step ahead. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be genius or an expert, but you always got to be one step ahead. And I think the biggest key, a little bit different of a system. It's okay. Honestly, it doesn't matter what your perfect system is. It's down on paper. Because the thing about creating that kind of flow chart was, it's almost like this if-then idea, right? Flow chart was, what if people just decided to go out there and follow the line? So everything started with, let's just say, everything started or Facebook. So we're going to assume that you're starting all of your conversations, whether someone's reaching out to you via Facebook, or you're commenting on a post, or maybe they're seeing your even dads. I get a weight that I put on while I was like coping with my wife on the couch in the Ben and Jerry's. So I was like, yeah, no worries, right? So I want to know what their goals are and say, hey, look, it's a heck of a lot easier. They're going to give you their cell phone number. And I'm just setting up a time to go out there and connect and call with them. So that's kind of just, the text part of the whole conversation. The first skill that, what type of a conversation can you have? And the whole goal is your chat, you might referring people to him, but I could never do that. I don't your goals and your needs. But you got to check out what I'm doing first and see if there's even a fit. Does that make sense? Well, yeah. Well, why can't you just tell me like how it works? Like, how often do I need to use a shake? Am I going to eat real? Oh my gosh, you're going to eat amazing food, and this product tastes amazing too. In fact, you're probably going to save some money. Do me a favor. When do you have 15 minutes to check this out? Or when do you have 30 minutes to jump on a webinar? Or when do you have whatever that is, whatever is, you want to send them there. Now, when you get all the, objections, that I was just talking about, like, is it one of those things, right? Where do you add a woman to me? I said, I don't know what planet you're from. But the whole goal is like, look, I'm not going to argue with you. I hate chocolate. I don't want to do shakes. Okay, great. Probably if someone really does say, I'm more worried about the cost, or I don't know if I can afford it. Let me just look, a friend, get there. I'm going to take care of it.
Thanks, Jason, Lou, and everybody else that's on this team call. Product Spotlight, as Betsy said, is on the Isagenix bars. And I've instructed Russell a lot on this to help him out as he continues to grow. So I'm going to let Russell fire this off for us.
You might have to unmute him.
Does Russell need to unmute himself?
Oh, is that how it works? You push a button?
There you go.
I'll figure out. Hey, everybody, thanks for talking to me. And real quick, I just want to say we all love them. So I'm just going to run through a bunch of stuff with you because there's so much information out there already that we can just pop in and go onto isagenixhealth.net and all that stuff. We all know the websites. So I'm just going to basically talk about it. And I'm going to actually explain a few questions that people have asked me about the bars and kind of the answers that I give, because I've used bars actually to sell the pace setters of the President's Pack, usually because it comes in there. So I'll talk about that a little bit. But I just want to give a shout out to Betsy. I've known Betsy for 10, 12 years, long time. And she's just awesome. And it's just been fantastic watching her grow and my good friends, Jen and Blake. And so Blake has really kind of propped me on this and it's really good. So we all know the flavors. I'm just going to read off a list of the flavors here. We know there's a chocolate cream crisp, the chocolate peanut butter crunch, the chocolate decadence, and I'm a huge chocolate guy, so this is good. And like Jason's friend that says she doesn't know chocolate, that's crazy. The lemon crunch bar, the natural oatmeal raisin, which I had for lunch today, and the nutty caramel cashew, and then the two dairy-free bars, which are fantastic. And I have a great story about one of those from last week that I'll share with you. But rather than jump into all the ingredients right away, I just want to talk about a couple questions that people have asked me about. I came up with these this morning, and one of the biggest questions that I've been asked is, why is there sugar in the bars? And why is there sugar in the shakes too? And it's basically, well, sugar is essential to us and we have to have sugar in our diet. It's a matter of having too much sugar or too least amount of sugar. So eating a moderate amount of sugar daily can be healthy, and it's found in most healthy meals. Most whole foods, including fruits and veg, dairy, and whole grains, contain an assortment of simple sugars and simple carbohydrates. And so I think it's important that people understand that sugar is not a bad thing. Sugar is a really good thing. Adam Levine sings about it, so it must be a good thing. I don't know. I had somebody ask me, she was down in the staff lounge making her shake, and she's not on my team or anything, but she's a good friend. And I watched her take a vanilla shake and take a lemon bar and chop the lemon bar up, the whole lemon bar, and put it into the shake. And I just kind of looked at her. I said, well, that's really interesting. You're going to have 2 meals today. And she looked at me, she goes, what are you talking about? And so we talked a lot about the difference between the grams of sugar. You know, there's 11 grams in your shake, and then there's 16 grams of sugar in your bar. So it is possible to overdo it. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They look at these bars as just snacks. They're not snacks. They're meal replacements. And I think that's really important. When I'm talking to people about the bars, they often will buy them and use them as snacks. And so you can do that. Chop it up into little bits. Have a snack throughout the day. Totally fine. But if you're going to be having 3 or 4 bars a day because you're addicted to them, like me, kind of, you know, you got to be really careful. So I just tell people, you know, if you need to put some lemon in your shake, get some essential lemon oil or put a drop in or something. Just be careful, because that's what's so great about our shakes is we can add stuff and supplement. Somebody asked me too, can I have 2 bars per day instead of shakes? And yeah, you can. These are meal replacements again, but you've got 11 grams over here in your shakes, and you've got 16 grams or more in your bars. So you're kind of playing out, you know, how much sugar do you want in your daily thing? And I know I'm talking about sugar a lot, but I'm a sugar addict, so that's probably why I'm talking about it. And the last thing I thought was really cool, another question, I had somebody sign up. She, I guess I can out her because nobody knows her name, but she just told me she's pregnant, but nobody knows. So anyway, no, it's not my wife, thank God. We are, she asked, she's vegan. She's strictly vegan. And she asked if she could eat them. And the greatest thing, I think we've all tried the dairy-free chocolate berry bliss, and everybody's at Celebration, I know, got to try one. I was at Super Saturday here in Phoenix, and I got to try one. Eric Cooper was tossing and hitting people on the head with them. It was awesome. And so we all had one of those chocolate berry blisses together. And these dairy-free bars are geared specifically toward anyone with any dietary needs, such as somebody who's vegetarian, somebody who's vegan. The reason why we say they're vegetarian is because vegan is polarizing. So if you see the word vegan on a package, immediately I'm going to be turned off because I love steak. I love bloody steak. And I'm sorry, everybody, but I do. And you got to be careful with the verbiage we're using, because I know it turns a lot of people off. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed with the vegans, and it's been fantastic. We now have options for anybody with any dietary need. We've got the dairy-free shakes, we've got the dairy-free bars, we've got everything. And I'm really excited about these bars that came out. I wasn't going to try the chocolate berry bar, and I put one in my mouth, and it melted. And if you've had one of those chocolate truffles, you know those chocolate truffles you can put on your tongue and they melt and get all gooey in your mouth? That's what this feels like to me, and it's really, really good. Just tasty. So anyway, I wanted to talk real quickly about some of the ingredients, and I'm going to shout out to Blake. I don't know if he's on my left, but he's over there next to me. What's up, dude? And I just wanted to talk a few things that he brought up was really important. Key things that we need to remember is everything is online. If we need to know exactly what's in the bars, people are asking me, most people that talk to me ask me very specific questions. I'm a music teacher and a drama teacher. I'm not very good with the small things. I'm really good with the big picture and the pretty creative things, but I'm not very good at the small things. So I'm constantly looking up. We need to remember that our bars are 210 to 270 calories, depending on the bar. That's a meal right there. It's a low-cal meal, but it's a meal, you know, as long as we're eating our healthy 500 to 800 calories per night, at least for me. There's 18 grams to 19 grams of protein. And again, like the new dairy-free, those are made with brown rice protein and pea protein, which is really good, PEA protein. That's PEA protein. So just these are fantastic things, especially for, again, somebody who's vegan. We've got a lot of people out there that are looking at that lifestyle. My 6-year-old said she's going to be a vegetarian because she's scared of eating cows. So we're looking at the bars for her. It'll work out great. One of the unique things that I like is dealing with stress. Blake found this, and so I'm giving a shout out to Blake for this. He says the chocolate decadence and the lemon passion crunch have stress-fighting what is that word? Adaptogenic botanicals. Thanks, Blake. Sorry. And that's fantastic. I mean, I'm a stressful guy, and I try not to be, and I haven't been for the last year since Betsy introduced me to this beautiful system. So, you know, it's been a real stress relief for me, and those are the two that I actually have used now I was talking to somebody today about that. Hey, needs less stress in your life. You work with junior hires. You do. So we're going to look at her some lemon bars tomorrow, which is great. Another part is that vegetarians are aware of some of the potent iono-missing nutrients they have in diets and are actively using ageless essentials. I was listening to a podcast this morning about this. And if you're using those dairy-free, the reason why the dairy-free products they didn't want to have a funky taste to them. They didn't want to have that kind of, not really metallic, but that overpowering vegetable taste. Well, those are essential to get your vitamins. Therefore, the essential vitamins come on into there. So I always say with the bars, supplement with those essential vitamins. Moving on, specifically for product users, my daughters, I've got 3 daughters, 10, 8, and 6. They have half a shake in the morning, but if they don't have that shake, we'll give them half a bar. They love the chocolate. They're like their daddy, chocolate everywhere. We also don't want to make sure we're not giving a 2-year-old a bar to suck on. You know, there are a lot of vitamins in here, so it's recommended that it's 4 years and older, and that's something I make sure I tell people. Somebody I signed up last week has a lot of young children, and she was giving them the bars, and we had a little talk about that. So it's good to know, you know, children sometimes will have to skip breakfast, which is a horrible thing. And again, I said earlier, I'm a teacher, but I'm seeing, I don't know if you're all seeing this, but I'm seeing in the youth today, we're getting bigger, and it's not an ego thing. It's a weight thing. Well, it could be an ego thing too, but it's not good. These youth, these junior hires I work with, and these high schoolers I work with, most, if not all of them, are in some way overweight, and it actually scares me. So we can offer this to people who need that help. And if they have kids that don't want to eat, but they'll have their Cheetos and their Red Bull at night, we've got problems in this society. And we've got the answer. I mean, we're all on here because we know it's the answer. Another couple things I want to talk about is, you know, people that are athletes. I started mountain biking. I know Blake is doing this too. And now he's rock climbing because he's a rock star. And these are great for right before we go out. So I try to bike about 24 miles a week. And I'll have one of these bars beforehand, and it gives you the essential protein for pre-workout fuel without skipping your blood sugar levels, and it sustains your energy. I can't just get out there in the middle of the desert where I live and expect to go on just a shake. Not that wouldn't get me through, but I need to have that something extra in my stomach. So, you know, if you're going to do a heavy workout, pop one of these in. It's great to do. I was up on Camelback and popped one of these bars out here at the big mountain, and my buddy who I went up there with raised his eyebrows. So we're actually going to be talking about it. So it's amazing how convenient and easy it is. And lastly, I just want to talk real quick about applications. As mentioned before, it's great for on the run. You know, if you don't have time, jump in and grab one, because it's, you know, I have to run off to school every morning where I teach, and I don't always have time to make a shake. Even though it only takes 30 seconds, I'd rather grab a bar and run. So grab your bar. It's just for convenience. Sometimes you'll hear people concerned about chewing their food. I love food. It's one of my vices. I really have to work on it. It's one of the reasons I gained a lot of weight. I've lost 28 pounds now from Isagenix, which has been awesome, and I'm really happy about that. But I was a tubby tuba, and I think that's why Betsy called me a couple years ago. Thanks, Betsy. But because I worked with her before, and I know she saw the stress in my life, and I saw the happiness in hers, and so I truly believe in this. I think bars are just something that we can use all the time. And again, Kirsty Cody was talking about on the podcast. She said they've worked on these dairy-free bars for years with hundreds of prototypes. If we think that our stuff isn't the best, then why do they have 100 prototypes in a couple years before the right product comes out? We know we've got the best stuff. We know we have a company we can depend on. I absolutely have 100% faith. I wouldn't be giving it to my children if I didn't believe in that, especially with what I'm seeing out there today in the world. So get yourself some bars. I'm actually going to go get some more tonight. I've got to put an order in, or I get to put an order in. So I've really enjoyed it. I've tried all of them. My favorites, obviously the lemon. I'm addicted to the lemon. They taste like my grandmother's lemon bars, except without the inch of powdered sugar on the top, although I do miss that. And the chocolate berry bliss are also my favorite. Just melt in your mouth, awesome goodness. So I don't know. Blake's got some stuff he wants to talk to you about too. I think maybe he doesn't.
No, it's great. You did a great job, Russell.
Dude.
And we'll just keep us all on good time here. So I'm gonna turn it back to Betsy there.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Blake. Thanks, Russ. So Lauren, are you?
Actually, Betsy, I'm going to take.
Oh, hi, Jess.
Hey, how are you? So I'm going to really quickly introduce our person who's speaking on belief, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it so much because honestly, her presentation and her strength of her conviction in this industry is so powerful that you will not be able to sleep tonight. So with that, Adrienne McGovern, are you there?
I'm here. Can you
Hello.
hear me? Okay, so I'm like in the office and I have the rest of my team in my family room. So we have like both Zooms going. So I just wanted to make sure I'm clear. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, great. So, I'm going to shut this door. I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm here and then. Okay, I'm back. So I wanted to just start off with, we're going to talk about our belief in network marketing. So a lot of you guys may be a 10 out of 10 on this area already, but it's really an important skill for you all to have to be able to talk to other people about why this is the perfect storm. So before I get started, if you could just, anyone who's willing to comment or chat, just throw out some of the things that you may yourself be feeling, some of the myths that we can kind of bust tonight, or some of the things you're hearing from some of your associates that they're saying about network marketing. Like what are the common things, if anyone could just throw out a few comments of, things people are saying negatively about network marketing. It's a pyramid. Yes, we hear that over and over again. We'll talk about that. It's a scam. It's you have to get in early. The market is saturated already. It doesn't work. These are all of the things that many people have felt when they first were getting started. And I certainly was feeling all of those things. So when Jessica introduced me to Isagenix, I was thrilled to pieces with my results, but I had zero interest in the products. So I'm sorry, in the business. So what I want to do is kind of talk to you about three main areas that I see as what I needed to go through to get my belief to be a 10 out of 10 in network marketing. And some of these are areas that you can take your associates through to get them to be a 10 in that area. So first of all, mindset. So when I talk about mindset, I mean the idea of how we are supposed to work. Most of us were probably raised in a similar household that I was. And what are you all told to do? What do you need to do? Go to school, work hard, stay in your job, go to work every day, and, earn money towards a pension, put some money away. And in 40 or 50 years, if you're really, really lucky, you may have enough for the early bird special. Maybe you'll go to Florida once. That's kind of the American dream, right? Work hard, go to school, get a good job, and stick with it. And, that is really the mindset that I had, that network marketing was not following the norm of what we're supposed to do. I'm supposed to go to school. I went to school. I'm supposed to get my job, 9 to 5, job, work hard, and then one day I'll be able to retire. And that is the only acceptable way to succeed. So, when I went to one of my early Isagenix events, I heard about, I don't know if you've heard the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. So, a lot of these things, a lot of these books that I hear about at our events, I like to listen to on Audible. And you have to, if you have a minute, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And what the author was discussing is really bringing up his upbringing in Hawaii, and that he had his real dad is who he refers to as Poor Dad. And then he had his rich dad, who was actually his friend's dad. And he talks about there are certain things that rich people tell their family and children about money that average Americans, middle class, do not. And if you can open your mind to looking at things another way, the way that rich people kind of think about things, they're entrepreneurial, they believe in owning businesses, they believe in investments, they believe in taking risks, they believe in living outside of the box. If you can have an open mind to that perhaps you could be, extremely wealthy and extremely successful. So it's a great book if you have any time to listen to that or read that. So I, when I really thought about that, I felt like I had been in the opportunity where I had been working full time in a school system, home with my family because I was lucky enough to take some time off. So when this opportunity was presented to me, I was already stepping away from that traditional income source. I had been looking to return to the workforce full time when my children were starting full-time school. So in my mind, I had some time to kind of play around with this idea and this opportunity. So it was really exciting for me. But honestly, I still had that feeling about network marketing, and I just did not truly have my belief set up there. So the first area that I mentioned I wanted to talk about was your mindset and being open to the idea of a different kind of work. Then the other one is really network marketing. And all of those things that you had been sharing about network marketing, I want to debunk some of those myths because that's the way I felt, definitely. it's not a real job. It's not a real career. You know, the idea I had about network marketing goes back to, like, I legitimately remember my mom, like, joking around about the Tupperware party she had to go to and how this lady couldn't get a job. And, you know, it's not a really respectable thing. And that's what I felt. I have a master's degree. I'm going to go into network marketing. This isn't a right fit for me. It's not a real job. So I went to an Isagenix event. All of you guys have probably been to events. If not, of course, you know, you need to get there. And when I sat at this first event, I think it was Kathy Savage who was taking us through really building our belief in network marketing. And it was so, so powerful for me when I really got to understand the research about the industry. I mean, looking at, when I say research, I mean looking at economists and how they measure trends measured in the billions and trillions, you know, actual data, looking at where the industry's going, where the trends are leading us. So what I learned is that two of the strongest emerging industries where growth will occur are health and wellness and network marketing. And this is not an opinion, this is fact. This is looking at the data, like I said, measured by billions and trillions of dollars. You know, when they're talking about the wellness industry, I want to be very clear. Wellness meaning products that make us look better, feel better, prevent disease, slow aging, products that are preventing illness. So I don't want to be confused with the sickness industry, which we know that is a, you know, multi-billion-dollar industry. The wellness industry is poised to surpass the sickness industry, according to some of the, you know, top trends that we're following. So, you know, the network marketing, what I mean by network marketing, you all know, is person to person, belly to belly, you know, network marketing. It is the intellectual distribution model that we're all kind of jumping on board with. And it's attracting tons and tons of Fortune 500 people, Wall Street, Warren Buffett, Donald Trump. You know, whether or not you like him, he may know a thing or two about business and earning some money. All of these people, you know, that are joining and jumping into this and backing this are people who really, really know what they're talking about. And it really kind of excited me. You know, Paul Zane Pilzer. So you may have heard of him at some of our events. He's really, a lot of our Isagenix stars really, really like him. He highly endorses this business model. He wrote The Next Trillion and The Wellness Revolution. So if you could, you know, grab those or listen to those, what you're going to hear